Hi guys, this is Sai Kumar Kurtiwada. In this video, we will learn about how to style a component in React and what are the different ways we can style our React component. For that sake, let me show you what are the different ways we have in React component stylings. So here you have three different types. One is inline style and one is global style and one more is modular style. So let's talk about these three different ways and how to use that, how exactly it works. So let me quickly jump into Visual Studio Code where we can see all the different types of examples. So here I have source and I'm trying to open app.js, which is a default component, and I want to add some set of inline styles. Let me go with h1 tag where I want to go with inline styles. That is my first way of using styles in React component. And now if I want to add a color for this h1, so what I will do is I can just add a style attribute, and for this style attribute we have this parenthesis which says that we are using some dynamics JavaScript extension, and here we can use another object which is an object of your style. So we can define our style inside this object. For example, in this case I want to go with a color and the color value is red color, and save this. Now you can go here and you can see that red color. And even if you want to apply some sort of font size, so you don't give any hyphens in between the words, you have to give a single word where it should be a camel case. So let me go with font size and I want to override the actual font size. So I want to go with 20 pixel and save this. Go here and you can see the 20 pixel font size. That means whenever you have some set of colors or whenever you want to apply any of the two word style, then you can apply by using a camel case. And the advantage of using this object wise is even you can return this object from an method. For example, I can create a function get styles, and this is an arrow function which will return an object, and the object is this one. So let me copy this object, cut this, put it over here, and just copy this and put it over here and call this and save this. Now go here and refresh, it works the same. So even you can call this particular functions on the style property. So this is also one way. And also if you want to show some conditional based rendering on the styles, we can do that as well. Let me create a state called as count, and I want to create a set count method which will use a use state, and the use state will take a default value as 0. Now I'm trying to create a button. So let me create a button, and this is something like increment label, and I can use on click. When I click this increment button, there should be an increment in my count value. So let me use set count of count plus 1. So I'm taking the current value of that count and incrementing by 1, and I'm setting that value to the set count. So now we have the increment and it is getting incremented. Now my case is when the count value is divisible by 2, I want to show red, otherwise I want to show green. So in that case I can handle that by using conditional operations. I can use this count value over here. If the count is divisible by 2, so that is divisible by 2, and if the remainder is 0, then I want to show red color, else I want to show green color, and save this. Now go here, refresh, increment. Now the value is 1. Let me show you that count value as well, hyphen and count value over here. Save this, and you can see the default value is 0. It is divisible and hence it is showing red. When I click this 1, it's green, again 2, it's red. So that's how you can use conditional stylings as well. So this is how you can use your inline style. Let me remove this inline style and save this. Now what I want to do is I want to show you something like global style. So whenever you import a global style, you can use that style in the current component and all of its child components. For example, here this is the global style CSS. So global CSS are created as an external file, and the extension is .css, and the file name should start with capital letter. So here the file name is app and .css is the extension, and I'm importing directly into my app.js. And let me go here into the app.css, and here we can create our CSS. For example, I want to go with text align or something like align center, and let me open this. Now I can use text align center. and save this. Now you can copy this class and try to use on your div tag. Let me use on the div of this app.js. So that is a parent element. So here, whenever you want to apply a CSS on a particular div, you have to use something called as class name attribute, and it is only for React. So whenever you are working with JavaScript or Angular, you will be giving that class as a class attribute. But here in this case, we have to give class name. Why? Because in class component, the class of the CSS and the class component keyword would be same. So here React get confused which is a class component and which is the class which is related to CSS. So it get confused. For that sake, they have renamed the class property as class name, and we can apply our CSS on this. So I have applied class name and I'm applying text align center, which is from global CSS. And let me go here, and you can see all the text and the button, it was aligned into the center. So let me inspect and let me show you the div. So for example, if I see the div, it is text align center as it is, and child components can also utilize this particular app.css values. That means let me go into child. Let me go into the src, create a new folder called as child, and inside this child, let me create a new file called child.js, and let me create a function const child is equal to and implies return h1 as child, and save this. Now this is my child component. Let me export this as default. So I'm doing a default export over here, and let me import this in our app.js, that is a parent component. So let me go here and just use that child component and save this. Now you can see there is an error, child.js does not match the corresponding name on the disk. So it is saying that it is not matching the export value. So let me go here, and this is my child and it is capital letter, and save this. Now go here and you can see the child. Now it is also center aligned. Actually speaking, whatever I am applying from here, it is applying for all the elements, point one. And what I'll do is I'll add one more thing called as red hyphen color, and this is like color red, and save this. Now let me copy this red color and put it over here inside my child.js. Let me add a class name and red color, save this, and you can see the red color. This is applying because of the global CSS. For example, here I have imported this app.css, and this app.css classes I can use even in the child components. That is what we are not restricting the CSS classes, and we are able to use on the parent and the child. If you are using a child, all the child elements and the nested of the child elements can use this, but not the app.js. So always it starts from top to bottom. So at what level you are trying to use it, only that level and the nested levels will work. For example, if you want to use in the child.js, you can use in the child.js, and only the child.js nested values can access these classes, not the app.js. That is where the global CSS, wherever you are importing, it should be imported properly, and you have to give the access where it is required. And now third thing is modular CSS. So whenever you want to create a modular CSS, then your file should contain a name of the file, dot module dot and the CSS extension. So now what we do with the modular CSS? Modular CSS is restricted for a particular module. If you import in child.js, it applies only for the child.js and it will not be applying for your nested values. For example, let me create one app module.css. So let me go and create app.module.css. This is how we will create modular CSS. And now let me add a green color, and let me use that value color as green, and save this. Now how to import this? Actually speaking, we should not import with a direct import. We have to do it as a named import. So import styles from, and I want to give the name dot slash app dot module dot css. Now I can use the styles here. Let me add that as class name, and let me use styles, and the styles is a dynamic value styles dot. I have a class called as green color. Let me copy this, put it over here, save this, and you can see the color is not defined. Okay, so what we can do, just we can add, okay, we are getting something called as color is not defined in app.js. So let's see this. Okay, so it is a two word So I can use something like off and save this. Now go here, it is in green color. Let me try to use this green color inside this child.js. Actually speaking, we don't have a reference for this styles in the child.js. Why? Because it is restricted only for app module, and it is an import, that is the named import. So modules will be imported with a named import, and by using that named import only we can access the classes of that particular CSS file. So what it looks like in DOM, let me go here and let me inspect this. You can see here the DOM element is having a class with the name of your component and the underscore along with your class name, and there is a random number which is generated over here. So this app is nothing but the component where you are using. Green color is the one which is the class of CSS, and this is something like dynamic number. So that is how the inline style will be working. So inline styles, that is how your modular CSS will work. So whenever you are working with modular CSS, it will generate a random number along with a random class name which you can't find directly in your browser. For example, if you want to reuse this app module.css in child.js, you can use that by again importing it. Import styles from /app module.css, and now I can use the class name over here. So if you want to use the class name, let me clear this. Class name is equal to, I can make it as styles dot, or you can use two-word class name. So let me copy this and put it over here, save this. Now go here, it is also green color. Let's see both of the values. Let me go here, inspect it. It is app green color with FLW46, that is a random number generated over here. And if you see here, it is also app green color and it is having FLW4S. So that is nothing but it is imported from app.module.css, and it is taking the file name, that is app. So that is how it took that name and the color name, that is a class name, and here we have FLW46. So this is how it will generate a particular ID for that particular class, and that class name will be used over here. If you see, both are same colors, but there is a random class name for this particular elements. So it will not be always fixed. So that's why this styles are better, and even most of the people will use this modular CSS whenever they are creating an independent component. So whenever you are creating an independent component, always create one JS file and one CSS file, and you can manipulate however you want on that modular CSS. So that is how you can use styles in React components. That's it for this video. Hope you like my explanation. If you like my video, like, share, subscribe to my channel for more updates. Signing off. Thank you.